Hi everyone, in this video I'll show you some concepts about mindfulness and self-compassion. It's great context because you understand how this kind of techniques help you to be free to ride from anxiety. And it's very important to understand the similarity in self-compassion in mindfulness because self-compassion has received a lot of research, over 200 articles around the world. What is self-compassion exactly? In order to better understand what self-compassion is, it's useful to first consider what it means to feel compassion more generally. From the Buddhist theory, compassion is about how we giving to our own as well as to others suffering. We include ourselves in the circle of compassion because to do otherwise would construct a false sense of separate self. And compassion involves sensitivity to experience of suffering, coupled with a deep desire to alleviate the suffering. This means that in order to experience compassion, you must first acknowledge the presence of pain. Rather than rushing past that homeless woman as you're walking down the busy street, for example, you must actually stop to consider how difficult her life must be. This involves pausing, stepping out of your usual frame of reference, and viewing the world from the vantage point of another. The moment you see the human as an actual human being who is in pain, your heart resonates with hers. Compassion literally means to suffer with. Instead of ignoring her, you found that you moved by her situation and feel the urge to help in some way. And rather than looking down at a woman or believing that she is somehow separate and disconnect from you, you realize that all human beings suffer and are in need of compassion. That but for fortune go I, self-compassion is simply compassion directed inward, related to ourselves as the object of care and concern when faced with the experience of suffering. There is three components of self-compassion we must to understand. First of all, self-kindness. Western culture places great emphasis on being kind to others, but not too much to ourselves. When we make a mistake or fail in some way, we often use harsh, critical internal language. You're so stupid and lazy. Ashamed of you. We would unlikely to say such things to a close friend or even a stranger for that matter. When asked directly, most people report that they are kinder to others than themselves. And it's not unusual to encounter extremely kind and compassionate people who continually beat themselves up. And even when our problems stem from forces beyond our control, such as losing our job or getting in a car accident, we often don't give ourselves the sympathy we would give to a friend in the same situation. It's very important to develop this kind of characteristic for us. The second one is common humanity. The sense of common humanity central to self-compassion involves recognize that everyone fails, make mistakes, and gets it wrong sometimes. We don't always get what we want and are often disappointed, either in ourselves, in our life circumstances. This is part of the human experience, a basic fact of life shared with everyone else on the planet. We are not alone in our imperfection. Rather, our imperfections are what make us card-carrying members of the human race. With self-compassion, however, we take the instance of compassion other toward ourselves, allowing us to take a broader perspective on ourselves in our lives. It's very important. The third one is mindfulness. Self-compassion entails mindful awareness of our negative thoughts and emotions so that they are approached with balance and equanimity. When our mindfulness, we are experientially open to the reality of the present moment without judgment, avoidance, or repression. Why is mindfulness an essential component to self-compassion? First, we must be willing to turn toward and experience our painful thoughts and emotions in order to embrace ourselves with compassion. While it might seem that our pains blindly obvious, many people do not acknowledge how much pain they are in especially when that pain stands for their own inner self-critique. Or when confronted with life challenges, people often get lost in problem-solving mode that do not pause to consider how hard is it in the moment. Mindfulness of our negative thoughts and feelings means that we do not become over-identified with them, getting caught up and swept away by our aversive reactions. Rather than confuse our negative self concepts with our actual selves, we can recognize that our thoughts and feelings are just that, thoughts and feelings, helping us to drop our unquestioning belief in the storyline of our inadequate, worthless selves. So I would believe is great techniques for us to be free for anxiety. I hope you enjoy this kind of video. Thank you very much.